5x minus 2y plus 3z
Negative 13.
equals negative 13.
2x minus y minus 4z equals negative 1.
Equals negative 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And x plus 3y plus 3z equals 12.
More typical what they look like when we give them to you. Okay? So again, I'm going to number the equations 1, 2, and 3. Now, there are a couple of teachers that like to teach this using substitution. I personally never do that. I only use elimination to solve these. Okay, so if you have a teacher that taught you using substitution, I know Miss Anoy does that sometimes. She's not teaching Algebra 2. There's a couple of other teachers that used to. So you want to choose, you're going to be using the elimination method 3 times. Okay, you're going to be eliminating 3 times. You start by taking 2 equations at a time. The one equation that is not going to be that helpful to me at this point is the first one. All the variables have coefficients. Equation 2 and equation 3 are far more helpful. If I felt like eliminating x, equation number 3 would be the most useful equation. I'd multiply it by negative 2, I'd add it to this one. I'd multiply it by negative 5, I'd add it to this one. But I like y the best. To me, if you look at this system, the easiest thing to do is to choose the variable you want to eliminate, and in my opinion, y is the easiest one to eliminate. Why did I think that? Because one's negative and one's positive already, and the numbers are kind of small. The numbers are kind of small. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking equation 2 and equation 3. I'm going to take those 2 equations and add them together. My goal, eliminate y. So if I want to eliminate y, which equation am I not going to do anything to? 3. I'm just going to write it down. X plus 3y plus 3z equals 12. But I am going to take equation number 2 and do what with it? I'm going to multiply it by 3. And so for me, I like to take notes in the side of my paper of what I'm doing. That way, if I get lost, I can come back and say, wait, what was I doing again? And I can see my notes. Okay? So I'm going to multiply equation number 2 by 3. And what do I end up with? 6x minus 3y minus 12 equals negative 3. I'm going to add these equations together. What's going to happen? The y's are going to cancel. I'm going to end up with 7x minus 9z equals 9. And I'm going to actually put a box around that equation, because I know that the third time when I do elimination that I'm going to be using this equation. So I put a box around it so that later on I can find it when I need it. Okay, at this point, what equation is feeling rather neglected? Number 1. We have to use number 1 now. We haven't used it yet. We have to use it. So let's write it down. 5x minus 2y plus 3z equals negative 3. And what equation are we going to use with it? The second one. And since this one is a negative 2y, we want this one to become a positive 2y. So what are we going to do to it? Multiply it by negative 2. So I'm going to make a little note to myself down here that that's what I'm doing. I'm multiplying it by negative 2. And so when I do that, what do I get? Negative 4x plus 2y plus 8z equals 2. And now I'm going to add them up. Y is going to cancel out. That's important. Once you determine which variable you're going to eliminate, you need to stay consistent and continue eliminating that variable. Okay? What do you get? x plus 11z equals negative 11. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to box it. How many times have I done elimination? Twice. I have one more time. Which equations am I going to use?
4, 5.
The two that are boxed. Exactly. Okay? All right, so I'm going to multiply this equation through by negative 7. I'm going to get negative 7x minus 77z equals positive 77. Underneath it, 7x minus 9z equals 9. Add the equations together, eliminate x. Negative 77z and negative 9z is negative 86z, and it equals 86. Is that a good feeling? Yeah, I think I'm doing this right. Divide by negative 86, and you get z equals negative 1. Now that you know z, go back to one of the equations that had just x and z, such as 7x minus 9z equals 9. Plug in negative 1 for z. 7x minus 9 times negative 1 equals 9. 7x plus 9 equals 9. Subtract 9. 7x equals 0. Divide 7. X equals 0. You have x is 0. You have z equals negative 1. Now go back to the original equations. Choose any of them. It doesn't matter which one. Plug in 0 for x. Plug in negative 1 for z. You get 0 minus y plus 4 equals negative 1. Subtract 4. Negative y equals negative 5. Divide by a negative, y equals positive 5. Your answer is 0, comma 5, comma negative 1. We are done with essential standard number 3.